Hi, are you going on vacation this summer? Are you wondering how your family can be healthy while you're on the road or traveling? Sometimes when we are on vacation, we make some of the worst decisions. This video is designed to help you and your family take a healthy foodie family vacation this summer. My name is Sarah Peternell. I'm the owner of Family Nutrition Services in Denver, Colorado. Welcome to my office. I'm also the creator of an online program for people with Hashimoto's. You may want to check that out if this sounds like it's for you, Nourished and Renewed with Hashimoto's. It's a 30-day program that helps you live healthfully with your food, supplement, and lifestyle choices for Hashimoto's. But today, I'm going to talk about being what I call a healthy vacation foodie. Now, these are all kind of independent terms. Basically, healthy, you're on vacation and you are eating food, right? Or you're seeking out good food. What do most people do when they're on a road trip or a vacation? They're eating out of fast food restaurants, like at the airport, or maybe on the road, they're pulling through the drive-through. They might even just be stopping at the gas station and getting snacks or other junk food. Now, I get it because, we're all human, and when we're hungry, you need to eat, and sometimes it's impossible to find the right kinds of foods, but a little bit of planning can go a long way. For my family, because I'm board certified in holistic nutrition, and I care a lot about the nutrition, not just for me, but for my entire family, not to mention the fact that I have Hashimoto's and celiac disease, and choosing foods for me makes the biggest difference in how I feel on vacation. Doing some planning and research ahead of time is one of the things that we always do when we're planning a trip. So I have a little secret for you. In a couple of weeks, my family is taking our camper up to Wyoming and Idaho and Montana, and we will be camping for 10 nights. Then we're going to be staying at a ranch and riding horses for 5 more days. Yes, this feels a little bit daunting, mainly because we're going to be cooking a lot of our own meals on vacation, and it is going to be an epic road trip with hours and hours and hours of driving. But I am pretty excited because my husband is fully on board with being a healthy vacation foodie. I've actually written a whole blog post about this in the past because people ask me this question a lot about, what should I do if I'm going on vacation? Do I just throw my goals and, concerns about nutrition to the wind for a little while, or are there things that I can do? So if you're curious and you want to read the blog post on my website, you can find the link for how to be healthy on your next vacation down below in the pinned comments. But I'm going to give you some of my kind of highlights right now. The first and most important thing about why you should be healthy on vacation is so that you have energy to feel good and have an amazing trip. If you're eating crappy, you might be feeling crappy. And this can make some of these long days in the hot sun, maybe with crowds, maybe standing in line, maybe sightseeing, whatever it is that you're doing, especially if you're doing it with kids, is always more miserable when you don't feel well. Am I right? Yes. So if you're eating well and you're taking care of yourself, you can feel pretty good and you can have endless energy. In fact, you might even feel like when you go on vacation, it's an opportunity to detox. I know, right? Who would have ever thought? Our daily lives when we're not on vacation can be filled with stress and can be filled with, difficult choices and, lacking in convenience and all of the things, especially, right now during this time of coronavirus pandemic, many people are just reaching for comfort foods on a day-to-day basis. So if you're getting out of town, it's a great time to kind of rethink some of your strategies and maybe make this your most healthful time of the year yet. So planning is the key. I said that a couple of minutes ago. There are ways that you can do research and searches just on the internet based on your location for what you will find for delicious, local, and nourishing fuel. When we plan our itinerary, sometimes we plan our itinerary around the foods that we want to eat. Yes, we're going to be seeking some fresh foods. I can only eat so much food out of a bag. We're looking for organic or foods that are grown with organic practices and whole foods the way that Mother Nature intended for us to eat. This means that we're going to be looking for what's fresh and local in the places where we're going to be visiting. We're going to be up basically in the mountains and near some farm country. And so we'll have an opportunity, hopefully, to be checking out some of the local fare. Okay, so the other thing I want to mention, just because, well, it is this time of the coronavirus pandemic, which is that if you're under stress and you're traveling and you're not sleeping in your own bed, you actually may be running down your immune system with a choice to go on vacation. Not to mention, as I just said, you may be around some crowds or some other people who maybe haven't been quite as careful as you have been for the past few months. So you want to keep your immune system healthy and strong by being a healthy vacation foodie. Okay, so thinking about, don't just skip all of your fresh fruits and vegetables for the 4 days or 5 days or 10 days or 15 days like we are when we're on vacation. That could be disastrous for keeping you healthy. Also, you want to make sure that you're getting plenty of hydration. If you're planning to imbibe a little bit and maybe have some alcohol or a fancy cocktail while you're on your vacation, you want to make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Okay. Also, if you're going someplace hot, you want to make sure that you're drinking a lot of water because it is easy to become dehydrated when you leave your home environment and go someplace new. Now, this is also important for kids. So if you're traveling and you want to take with you maybe a healthy electrolyte beverage, you can either take some of the Noon tablets, N-U-U-N. These are just little electrolyte tablets that you can add to a water bottle. Or maybe you want to get some of the Nutsen brand Recharge Electrolyte Beverage. I recommend this over Gatorade. Gatorade is loaded with disgusting artificial colors and flavors, and not really that healthy for you if you think about it. If you're just trying to improve a person's hydration, there are better ways to do it. Another thing you can do is you can make a travel size homemade salty lemonade to help keep the family hydrated. We do this by taking a 60-ounce container with filtered water, the fresh juice from a couple of organic lemons, a little pinch of sea salt for those good electrolyte minerals, and a tiny bit of raw honey to sweeten it and make it palatable, but also because raw honey offers B vitamins and enzymes and helps to strengthen the immune system. So this is something that, everybody's not going to drink 60 ounces of this per day, but it's a great way to start the day by giving everybody maybe a few ounces before they start hydrating with their water bottles while you're on the rest of your vacation, because it kind of just gets your cells ready to take water in and to stay hydrated while you're out doing your activities. So these are some tips about staying hydrated and supporting your immune system while you're on vacation, because if you've ever been on vacation with a sick kid or you've been sick yourself, you know that it is literally the worst possible experience. Now, my daughter gets really dehydrated and she also gets altitude sickness when we go above 12,000 feet. So living in Colorado, we have to be careful where we go because guess what? Waking up in the middle of the night with my child throwing up into the trash can is really unfortunate. So we've designed a lot of our trips to keep us healthy. We've designed a lot of our trips to help us have access to fresh food and healthy organic local food. And also we design our activities to provide the utmost in terms of kind of optimal wellness, connecting with nature, and enjoying activities that are available. All right, so here's how you plan a healthy foodie family vacation. So the first thing is that if you're not already starting to implement some healthy choices in your diet, and if you have any issues with cravings or blood sugar control or maybe, sweet tooth, some other things that are kind of getting in the way of your healthy habits while you're at home, trying to be super healthy on vacation can be kind of a bummer. So you may want to start before your vacation implementing some of these ideas to make it a little bit easier when you go away. You don't want to just go cold turkey from, like a not so healthy diet to this sort of, modified healthy diet while you're on vacation. It may actually end up being a detriment or detracting from your vacation. If you're watching this video and you've been following some of my other videos for family nutrition and child nutrition, chances are you're thinking about nutrition for yourself and for your family day in and day out. So let's get started. All right, so there are places that you can visit and stay when you're going on vacation. They're gonna maybe seem like a little bit weird and off the beaten path at first, but when you get used to traveling this way, it's actually really exciting to find places where you can stay and eat like kings and queens. So if you're traveling, somewhere in the United States and perhaps even abroad, if that option is available to you, you can stay at farms. We've done this all over the place. We've stayed at amazing farms in the United States, and we've also stayed at farms in Europe. I have a really awesome story of a time that my husband and I, before we had kids, were traveling through France, and we happened to be in France on Easter, and all of the lodging was booked. And of course, we were sort of last minute folks back then because we didn't have kids, but we were looking for a place where we would be able to spend Easter and not have to venture out into restaurants and things where, of course, all the reservations were taken. We got really lucky and found a homestay at a farm and actually got to have Easter dinner with the mother and the father and their grown children and grandchildren and a couple of their neighbors and friends who had all gotten together for this beautiful French feast. And the patriarch of the family, not only was he a farmer, but he was also an amazing chef. We really lucked out. This doesn't happen all the time, but we still look back on that trip and that experience very fondly. It was one of the most memorable trips and one of the most memorable Easters, and we got to have a very, very authentic experience eating some quite amazing fresh food. So farms are a great choice. A couple years ago, we took our kids down to Chaffee County in the southern part of Colorado, and we stayed on an alpaca farm. Each morning, our kids got to go into the hen house and pick out fresh eggs that we were allowed to cook in the little VRBO that we were staying in. They also had access to fresh peaches and cherries, homemade sausages, all kinds of artisanal bread, homemade butter. It was amazing. So you just never know what you're going to find when you decide to stay on a farm. So doing a search for farm homestays, no matter where you're traveling, can be a great option. I would definitely ask you to check that out. If you're not going to stay on a farm, you may decide that you want to go visit some local farmers markets in the area where you're going. Now, this is absolutely one of my favorite activities to do regardless, because I like to see not just the foods that are local to the area, but it's where I'll do most of my souvenir or gift shopping when we're on a vacation. Some of my favorite places have been teeny tiny little farmers markets in small neighborhoods that we've just stumbled upon, or all the way up some of the biggest farmers markets like in Madison, Wisconsin, or in Berkeley, California, or of course, the famous Pike's Market in Seattle. These have all been incredible opportunities to find food that we can take with us, maybe for like a snack or a picnic along the way, or even just for a casual sit-down lunch where we can maybe have, a fresh homemade sandwich, maybe a light salad, or something of that nature. My kids love to go to farmers markets and see if they can find popsicles that are made in the local area with fresh fruits and or vegetables. I usually like to recommend they get something with a vegetable, but they've had some really neat popsicles in the western region of the United States that contained fresh and local fruits and vegetables that we've talked about forever and even tried to recreate at home. We weren't always successful. So sometimes it's just the being away and the experience that's the most fun. Another place to look for eating healthy and local foods while you're on vacation is maybe in like a brew pub or a brewery or a winery or a distillery. Yes, these places are serving alcoholic beverages, but a lot of times they're also partnering with some of the local artisanal food makers and or farmers to supply the foods in their brew pub or whatever to provide food for the patrons who are participating maybe in like a wine tasting or something. So here you might be able to find like local artisanal cheeses or homemade sourdough breads. You might be able to find, say, different types of soups or salads, maybe even desserts and things that are made with natural sweeteners and are totally homemade. So these are other ways that you can just find maybe for a stop along your road trip on the side of the road. Of course, this is easy if you're in a place like Napa or Sonoma or Oregon, where these types of, habitats are pretty available, without having to look too hard. But even in places like Des Moines, Iowa, and sometimes in the backcountry of Maine, you can find pretty amazing brew pubs and distilleries and wineries that have a really authentic farm-to-table menu that you can participate in. And oftentimes the seating is outdoors, can be really beautiful. And then, of course, if you're the drinking age and you want to have maybe some of the local brew too, that can be pretty fun on your trip. A lot of cities have artisan food cooperatives and food halls where you might have like basically a central attraction where maybe there's some like kids activities like, trampolines or playgrounds or, all these different types of activities like a mini golf course or something. And around this area, you might actually find small pop-up restaurants that do like food trucks or food halls where they're bringing some of their top menu items in to eat. So this is a much better, cheaper, and healthier option than, say, going into like a chain restaurant where your bill might be a little bit more expensive and your food may be less healthy. So here in Colorado, I know we have a couple of these types of co-ops. You can meet the locals, you can do your shopping, you can pick up a meal, you can pick up food to go, and also you can just kind of walk around sometimes in these places for hours. The kids can find something to do. And again, I like to do a lot of my shopping, and sometimes these like more kind of food hall type places. For example, there are places in Florida where we go to visit sometimes with family, and I'm picking up like packets of fresh herbs and maybe like a locally roasted whole bean coffee, etc. My kids are picking out saltwater taffy. It's all right. It's part of the vacation experience. Looking for local mom and pop shops. Okay, so basically, is this a chain? Is it, like a big box store? Is it a giant establishment, corporate kind of a place? You're probably going to find more of the typical, like Ruffles and Doritos and, Mountain Dew and stuff like that. But if you're in a mom and pop shop, you might find, again, some things that are made by some of the people who live in the local area. I love this idea because you can walk in, you can support their business, and you also might be amazed at what you can find. We've walked into some of these stores, for like maybe needing extra batteries on a camping trip or something like that. There's a place near Buena Vista, Colorado that I walked into literally for like a few essentials. And I ended up coming out with probably $60 worth of the most amazing foods that fed us for several days. Homemade chicken salad that was like all natural ingredients. Again, some artisanal loaves of gluten-free bread, fresh fruits. I think we had like chocolate gluten-free brownies, stuff that I was just like blown away to find. And like the little labels on them were like made by Kate in Buena Vista. And it was just so cute, totally affordable, and, things that we don't get to try at home all the time. When I got back to the car, my kids were excited to see, different like packages of yogurt and things that had been made locally in the area. It's really a fun idea if you can just pop into some of these mom and pop shops and support them and also see what they have on hand. Now, farm-to-table dining establishments in some more of the kind of fancier restaurants are also an option. These are going to be pretty easy to find in like, urban areas where they're bringing in produce from the outer regions, and they're creating pretty, eclectic and organic and fabulous tasting menus, but it doesn't always have to be like a, break the bank kind of a thing. Sometimes, again, at some of these like food halls and things, you'll find maybe like a farm to table, organic, vegan, plant-based, vegetarian, whatever the case might be, menu that can be really affordable. I'm thinking about some of the best places in New York City that has some of these sit-down farm-to-table restaurants where your whole bill might be like $12 per person. You can get like a fresh brewed kombucha, maybe like a sandwich on artisanal bread with like some, locally smoked meats or something, and a bag of, organic potato chips on the side. That's pretty great in my opinion. And we try to seek these places out as much as possible. In fact, as I mentioned, we're going on this trip to Yellowstone, and my husband has been sending me text messages today with some links to some really cool kind of farm-to-table restaurants that are in Jackson, Wyoming, where we plan to do one of our day trips. So we're already thinking about how we can plan our itinerary around being able to sit down at the end of the day and have a very nourishing meal that's not going to break the bank and that's not going to make us feel cranky and bloated and puffy from too much salt or sodium or artificial ingredients. We're really trying to make this kind of the, healthy way to end the day by seeking out these types of local restaurants. Okay, my last tip is probably my favorite, and that is just making a picnic. It's pretty basic, isn't it? Just, buying foods from home from your grocery store, packing sandwiches, packing maybe some like deli salads that you make from home, or maybe even if you want to buy them ahead of time from Whole Foods or your local health food co-op or health food store. Having healthy snacks, maybe making like your own trail mix, cutting up some fruit, planning for like some special dips, like maybe a hummus or like a vegetarian buffalo sauce that you could serve with some like celery or carrots or chopped up cucumbers. These can be packaged into really easily portable Tupperware with lids or little glass containers that have those little snap tops that you can get from Costco. And you can just put them in your cooler so that as you're on your road trip or, whatever you're out doing for the day, maybe you can stash these sandwiches in your day pack and go for a hike up to like maybe a beautiful lake or go on a fishing trip or a horseback riding trip. The possibilities are really endless when you think about a picnic, but it does require time and planning. It also requires a little bit of creativity, not being afraid to mess up, because do you know how many sandwiches I have packed that when we get to the top of wherever we're going, the sandwiches are really too like smushy because I love dips and I love spreads and oops, I put too much on and oh well, they're still good. And it's still better than stopping by McDonald's. So try to think like a healthy foodie when you're on your next vacation. Be thinking about the ways in which you can surprise yourself and you can surprise your family by seeking out unusual and healthy foods. Stay hydrated, eat your fresh fruits and vegetables so that you can maintain a healthy immune system no matter where you go this fall or summer. And also be sure to get plenty of rest. Don't overdo it on your vacation, all right? Check out my blog post for more tips. I even have some sample daily menus of eating like a healthy foodie on your next vacation. You can do this. Wish me luck. 15 days up in Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho with my family. I will still be releasing YouTube videos while I'm on vacation. So don't worry, I'll still be here to support you with these helpful resources. Thanks so much for watching my channel. Remember to like, subscribe, and share, and hit your notifications bell so that when each video pops up, you will be the first to know. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Hi there. This summer, I've created for you an amazing summer solstice meal plan subscription. It comes in 3 options: the 4-week plan, the 8-week plan, or the 12-week plan. All of the meals are included. 4 meals a day: breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks, 7 days a week. And each week you get access to this beautiful handout with colorful recipes, a complete grocery list, and all of the nutritional information to help you stay on track with your healthy goals this summer. Spend more time in the sun having fun and less time worrying about what you're going to eat. This is a great way to stay on track with your goals and to learn some new, kind of yummy, fun new recipes. They'll stick with you for the long haul. Go to my website, sarahpeternell.com, and click on the Resources tab, and there you'll find the meal plan subscription. Thanks.